To have you here today.
No, not at all.
As you know, the big thing for pharmacy is the funding cuts.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of uncertainty. But one of the things that we feel very proud about has been the NPS contribution.
Thank you.
And how much the success you've had to try to get that message across.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the future for pharmacy at the moment?
Well, ironically, I think the consultation and the threats have presented an opportunity. They've presented an opportunity to be able to really present to the government what we can do in a way that's never been done before, not in my experience of pharmacy, and I've been around since '86. What I mean by that is we've got an aligned sector through the various bodies, the RPS, Pharmacy Voice, the Association of Technicians. It's aligned messaging, and that means the government are getting a consistent message. It might not be the same message, but it's aligned, and that's what matters. And that's an opportunity that we've got to really grasp with both hands, because we can give the government the cuts to it. We can give them an agenda with more efficiency. We can give them a programme of digitalisation. They're not the problems. What matters is that the sector's engaged from the onset, so that what we can arrive at is something that's workable and achievable. Pharmacy isn't frightened of transformation. My members are not frightened of transformation. That's okay, but not by a series of proposals, the scope and the scale of which are so far-reaching to the sector that the government should never have set off on this journey without engaging with us in understanding how they were going to do it and why. And that's the bit that's been missing.
So it's more the engagement with the sector.
Absolutely, and that's essential. Because you'll never create sustained change unless you involve the people who have to deliver it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I look at the proposals, whether it's across the automation piece, the hub and spoke piece, or whether it be across creating efficiencies, and even the arguments for reducing the number of pharmacies, we can counter that by saying, look, this is a sector that's ubiquitous across communities. They exist in the most deprived areas. They represent an absolute life up to people's communities. There's only us and the bookies, probably the chippies, and everybody likes a chippy and everybody likes a pharmacy. So it doesn't make any sense at all to deprive communities and the high street of that network. It's absolutely essential. And if we embrace it now, and if the government get that message over from us loud and clear, that this is a solution, we are the gateway, we can make the difference. If we can get that message over, then I really think we can influence and change this agenda going forward. And that's what we're determined to do. I'm actually positive about the future. Not worried about the future, because we've got this opportunity by the right people to make sure that we promote the sector in the right way. I think for me, every fight we come up against, every challenge that we face going forward, we make sure that we're more sophisticated in the way we lobby.
Yes.
And that means engaging, and that's what I've learned from this. We can't do this on the cheap. We've got to have the right degree of lobbying, it's got to be more sophisticated, and it's got to get to the heart of government so they can see the benefit and the value in what we do.
Now, I just want to get your advice for us pharmacists. What can we do to prepare ourselves for the changes? What can we do as well with the NP from our part to help towards achieving these goals?
Don't be frightened of change. Don't be frightened of moving this agenda on. We do need resource to do it. We can't do this through existing funding. Yes, we can adapt some things, we can change some things, but really, you know, if we're going to be serious about this, then you do need to invest in the sector. What you can do is be positive about your future, create them relationships with your patients, make that difference. When people knock us for not having the evidence to support all the wonderful things we do, the reason is because we're all too busy giving the care and support in an almost instantaneous way to patients every day. So if that is the price we've paid, I think that is a pretty acceptable price. The reason we haven't got all that recorded is because we're far too busy making sure patients are getting served correctly.
That's why I like that.
So, you know, and that's not something to be ashamed of, that's something to be proud of. But we have got to change, we have got to evidence it more, that's fine.
Pharmacy wears several hats. They wear a clinical hat, they wear a business hat, they wear a service hat, and they don't always sit well together. And I think it's getting the balance of what they want to do, how they want to do it, and where they want to do it, and do they want to move move the focus between one of those three hats going forward. I urge all pharmacists to watch a video. It's on TED Talks by Simon Sinek, and it's about why. Most companies know what they do and how they do it,
but they don't know
what
why.
Is your why? What is it you want to be? What is it you're famous for? What is it that drives you?
So the motivation behind
it won't be dispensing prescriptions. It might be better healthcare, being a leader in the community. But what is it that drives you?
Why?
Why are you there?
Yes.
And once you understand that, that gives you focus for what you can do and how you're going to live this why values. I think Apple, Simon mentions it on the video, is a great example of that. What they do is sell iPhones, iPads, iWatches.
Right. Why they do it,
Why they do it is to create beautifully designed things that help people's lives. That's their why.
Fantastic,
and I think independent community pharmacy, for a long time, they were prescription churning out factories. That's hopefully for most of them, that ethos has long gone. It still is a huge part of their role. That's not the supply chain. So going forward, it's what do I want to? Why am I here? What is my driving behaviour? And I think that might give them some insights on how they can ride out these tough times. Don't give up. You know, do they want to be a patient's champion? Do they want to be known for a disease? Do they want to be known for services?
So how would you say pharmacists could develop themselves, or what sort of things can they do that could get them prepared for this change?
I think they should be asking their customers a lot more than they do. Quite often the relationship between a pharmacist and their customers is reasonably proactive. It's here's your prescription, anything you want to buy. Quite often that's been, some would say, delegated to the counter staff. I would say quite often it's been abdicated to the counter staff. It's just the pharmacist is too busy being busy. The vast majority of people's first interaction in the pharmacy isn't with the pharmacist. It's with the counter assistant. Most people never actually get to speak to the pharmacist. So why?
Right. What do you think about uniting pharmacists through conversations? Because pharmacy talk, that's the purpose. Now, is this an interesting idea? Is this something that might help pharmacy?
It's a brilliant idea. I would love it to be real. It isn't at the moment, but pharmacy has too many vested interests and organisations. We've got Pharmacy Talk, Pharmacy Voice, PSNC, Society, MPA, MCA, CCA, and forever we've been trying to get them all together, and it's getting better. There are fewer voices, but there are still too many voices. Why do the government listen to doctors? Some would say they don't with things happening at the moment, but they listen to them because the BMA speaks for doctors. Who speaks for pharmacy, really?
At a time where we want to be investing in new services, particularly in the public health sector, and we're going to lose that ability to do that investment. I think there's so much potential in pharmacy, so much more we could be doing to deliver new services, extending services for many people. We could be very much part of the solution for the health of the nation and for the NHS, but it's going to take away that ability to invest in the future.
What about now we're having obviously this growing pharmacists moving to the GP surgeries? That's becoming the big thing now. As a community pharmacist, how do you feel about this idea about having more pharmacists now going into surgery?
I've worked. We've got a practice pharmacist who's come into the surgery I deal with. I had a very good relationship with her, and I think there's been quite a lot of mutual backwards and forwards of ideas. In some ways, I'd like to see that as an opportunity for better integration between GPs and community pharmacists, and that facility hasn't been made available. It's been very much on an employee basis rather than let's use this opportunity to integrate the two services. So a missed opportunity.
So this idea of pharmacy talk, the whole idea is to unite pharmacists from different backgrounds, community pharmacy, hospital pharmacists, unite all of us to a conversation, because that's something that we're not really having. Everyone's trying to get this unity. What do you think about the idea of getting all of the pharmacists on one platform to discuss generally the issues or the things going on in pharmacy?
I think it's a very positive idea. It's easier said than done. We do all tend to work in silos, and we tend to there's a degree of suspicion between part of the same sector, let alone the other sectors. But we do have to break those silos down, and we do have to build up that clinical network within pharmacy. Yes, very positive.